people to hear.
Right. They want to be able to, you know, put out their ideas and their creativity. Anyone else?
It's super fun and it makes them happy.
It is super fun and makes them happy. It's also a job, right? So all these people who are in the entertainment business, it's considered their career. So entertainment is good for a lot of people on the career end, but also on the enjoyment end, where you get to go to the movies or you get to buy a book or see your favorite book as a movie, all those things.
And iPhone user says so they can make money and entertain us.
Right?
That says gives them a job. Tanya, I like your answer. It lets them be themselves.
Right. How many of you have all these creative ideas flowing and they really come from either a personal experience or something that you like? Right? And then let's see. So right in there on that PowerPoint, there is a picture of Stanley and it's in a certain art form. Does anyone know what art form that picture is in? Remember to lower your hand and raise it again. Does anybody know?
Sharing your screen?
Is it not sharing right now?
I currently see the other participants. I don't know what they see. Are you seeing the screen? Nod your head yes. There it goes.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
So does anyone see?
Can you repeat the question?
So that picture of Stanley, the way it's done, it's a certain art form that you see in comics a lot.
Hmm.
That's okay if you don't know. It is kind of abstract, but it's actually called pop art, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because it kind of pops off the page. Katie and Sophie got pop art. Awesome job, ladies. So that is one way or one art form that you'll see in our comic strips, or if you guys get Sunday newspaper, if any of you girls get that at your house. That newspaper has a section, my dad used to call it the funnies, but it is a comic strip section. And so those necessarily wouldn't be pop art. But what kinds of comic books would have a lot of pop art in it? Marvel comics, right? Anytime you see like pow, wow, any of those are usually in that art form. Awesome.
Or DC. We got an or DC. We also
and DC as well. So DC and Marvel are the largest of the superhero comic books. And they both do use a lot of pop art. If you cannot hear me, go ahead and turn the volume up on your computer. So on this next slide, you'll see a bunch of different kinds of pop art going on. We got Captain Marvel, we got the Joker. And so when you see pop art, it's very bright.
Stitch, can you let the rest of the people in? They're waiting in your waiting room.
Yes.
I don't know how to do
Right. So we are bringing some new humans in. We may be over the 100 as well.
We're at 98 currently.
Awesome. All right, so we're talking about some pop art, and we are going over the first step, which is talking about pop art, the different kinds of comic art we see. So to begin, we are going to make like a stick figure comic. And so you're going to start with just 3 squares on a piece of paper. So if you have paper and a pen or anything, 3 squares. And in square one, you're just going to start with a simple stick figure picture. You could do a dog, a stick dog if you'd like. You can do a girl, boy, whatever you would like to do. If you'd like to make a stick figure tree, that is perfectly fine as well. So for mine, I simply stuck with the girl theme. So that's in my first square. And in square two, you're going to draw that same stick figure, but this time it's going to be doing a different action.
The squares can be whatever size you would like. You're going to go ahead and draw these pictures inside those squares. So if you want to have lots of drawing space, make your squares big. If you want little drawing space, make them small. It's kind of like a comic strip in Jackie and I called the funny pages as children.
And then, so for my second one, I drew my little stick figure person as I'm kind of doing a handstand. So this is my first and my second. And in the last square, you're also going to draw another action. And again, it's the same stick figure throughout all three, just doing different things. And when you finish, you should have something like this. So as you can see, comic art doesn't have to be super, super complex. It can be as simple as using a stick figure. So if you look at mine, you'll notice I have 3 pictures of the same girl. So one thing you want to keep in mind is continuity. Now that means same throughout. And so that's really important in comic strips because you want to be able to know it's the same person in each scene. So each scene is going to be kind of like each little panel of your comic strip. So I have 3 little scenes here. So can, again, by raising your hand or by using the raise hand little symbol there, can anyone tell me if my comic strip has continuity? And if not, what could I change?
Try unmuting Viva Martinez, V-E-V-A.
Okay. Make my screen bigger. Let's see where she's at. There she is. All right, Viva Martinez, what is your answer?
Viva, are you there? All right. Go ahead and try Haley as opposed to Viva.
All right, Haley Hoopman.
Oh, nope, not Haley Hootman. The Haley without a last name.
Oh.
H-A-I-L-E.
Oh, there's Haley. All right. All right, Haley, what is your answer?
Yes, because it's the same girl throughout.
It is the same girl throughout. Does anyone notice anything else with continuity? All right, let's see. All right, let's see.
Someone in the text box said she is wearing the same thing.
She is wearing the same thing. What about Kendra? What do you notice, Kendra?
In the second box, the hair is down,
Right. And so
which may
let's say,
it may be different because the hair is down. It might be a different
right.
person.
So if I were to show this, let's say to your mom or sister at home, and I said, is this the same girl? Some of them might say, well, no, the girl in the middle has her hair down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you, the creator, or me, because I explained it, might know that it's all the same girl. But you
Mhm.
also have to look at someone coming in and just looking at it, not knowing the thought processes, may not understand that. So continuity is something that you want to keep in mind when you make your own comic strip. Awesome job.
If you are currently raising your hand, go ahead and unraise your hand. Oh, I can unraise your hands. Aha. I just learned how.
All right, so we are going to come up with our ideas for our full comic strip we're going to create by the end of this badge.
Okay.
And we are going to talk about a 4-panel comic strip. So a little bit more complex than our simple 3-panel stick figure comic strip. So we're just going to take a look at Garfield and the little snail. And you are going to think about a story that you want to tell. So think about topics that inspire you. Someone mentioned they like scary movies, so they could do like a horror themed comic strip. I really like dogs, and so if I were to do one, I would definitely do one about dogs. The one I created as an example today is not about dogs though, but I'll show you that later on for some inspiration. If you like a sport, think about a story. It could be like a personal story of, well, one time I was playing soccer and I kicked the ball in the wrong goal. That may not be your story, but that did happen to me. So things like that. It can be from a personal experience. It can be from your imagination. But you want to think of a story to tell. And you only have 4 panels to tell that story.
You can do a romance one to answer the person in the chat. Whatever you would like. If you're going to share it, make sure it's Girl Scout appropriate.
Yes, thank you. So we're going to talk about emotions. All right, so emotions are very, very important when you're telling a story. So I want everyone, even if you're at home and I can't see you, that's okay. Show me a tired face. Like you're so tired. You just went on a really long walk around your neighborhood. You might have drawn with some chalk or something. You're super tired. So think about what you did with your body language and your face to indicate that you're tired. You can even look around at what everyone else did. I see a lot of like slouching over. Everyone's eyes started to close a little bit. All right, now show me a really happy face. Like you just got the best news ever. You just went outside and got some vitamin D and now you're inside relaxing. You're just super happy. Yeah, so I see lots of smiles. Some of you are even like bouncing around, right? So your body language is even happy. You're more open. If you notice, some of you even sat up and kind of opened up a little bit. Awesome. All right, and now show me your scared face. Like you just walked into your bathroom and saw either, a spider, something you weren't expecting. Maybe someone was coming out as you were trying to go in. You're just like a little scared. So some of you moved away from your computer screen, right? Some of you kind of like looked away, closed your eyes. So you want to think about how your expression changes between emotions. How does your body language change during different emotions? So emotions are also super important when you're telling a story so that it's relatable, right? So if I said, oh, my story is about falling, and in my little comic strip, the girl inside was embarrassed, I could then say, oh my gosh, I totally have been through that and I was embarrassed. So using emotions helps your comic strip become more relatable, which makes it more enjoyable. Like by a show of hands, how many of you like to read something or read about something that you can relate to? Maybe you're in middle school and you're reading about someone in middle school, right?
We have
So
several
think-
people raise their hands electronically. Nicely done.
Yeah.
As a reminder,
See-
when you're not raising your hands, unraise them.
We're all learning together. So, and Zoom is awesome because you can use it for troop meetings, you can use it for school. So you guys are learning right now, even though you may not know that. All right. And next, along with emotions, how we express what we're feeling and what we're saying is we think things, but we also say things. So you can use thought bubbles and speech bubbles. And that's what your comic strip, that's what you'll use to communicate with other characters, communicate what you're thinking. Speech bubbles and thought bubbles.
Several people who like fantasy better than realism. I missed one of the things.
And again, this Zoom is being recorded and it will be posted to the Facebook page, the GSSGC Facebook page. So you'll be able to view it later on.
That Fantasies, a comic about Jaws. That's super fun. And as a reminder, in order to get to your hand raising or lowering, it's in the chat window. And most of us do that by hovering at the bottom of the screen, and there's an option for chat.
All right. And next we have an example of a 4-panel comic strip. So everyone go through and read that.
Dragon comments isn't a comment. I think the next slide is where you guys are actually going to be making the comics. Right now, I think you're learning some things.
Yes. We are looking at examples on how to form our own, and then we'll be making ours at the end on the next slide.
Someone asked, is it okay for them to have more than 4 panels?
Yeah, it's perfectly okay if you want to go above and beyond. I will also give you the option of doing a collaborative comic strip if you want to pair up with a buddy or someone else from your troop or a new buddy that you see on the Zoom.
For the person who cannot see the slide, if you toggle between your screens, that's how you get to see the slides that Jackie has up. And so for me, because I'm on a laptop, I had the option of viewing how I wanted to see it. When I was on the phone, I had to swipe.
All right, so looking at this comic strip, I have a couple of questions. And you can, again, raise your hand. So if your hand is raised, go ahead and put it down. What emotions do you see in this comic strip? So what emotions are you seeing? I see Gabby has her hand up. Gabby with an I. Let me unmute you. All right, Gabby, what are your thoughts?
Well, I see in the guy who said, I just saw a monster, like very shocked.
Yeah, and what about his reaction tells you he's shocked?
His open mouth,
His open mouth, right. Awesome job, Gabby.
outstretched hands.
His outstretched hands, like kind of like get away from me, kind of. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
From the chat window, you got Hannah saying skepticism, Tanya saying
Yeah.
fear, Dee
So,
saying scared and sarcastic, Katie saying Katie and Sophia saying confused.
doubt, angry, fear. Right. All of those are perfect answers, and you're all correct.
Haley has her hand raised virtually.
Haley has her
Verified.
hand. Let's see.
Robin would like to be unmuted if you'd like to unmute her so she can answer. Lila and Andrew are saying fear and doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Girl Scouts are saying shocked and surprised. I like that one.
All right, which Haley?
Haley, Hailey, has no last name.
Okay, Haley, go ahead.
In where it says he has green skin, he looks like scared.
Right, because why do you think he's scared about someone having green skin, Haley?
Because they might think that he's a alien or something.
Right, it's unusual. Awesome observation. All right, and then can someone tell me, let's see if I can find Haley again to meet her.
Laurel says the security guard looks annoyed. Mosley says the police officer felt doubtful. Aaliyah says the police look scared or confused.
Mm-hmm.
R. Lester says astonished.
So as you can all see and all you have been commenting and thinking about is emotions really do express how people are feeling. It also goes along with the comic strip. It tells a story of this green monster coming in, being a little scary, people being unsure, all of those things. And what details do you think could be added to add more to the story or to make the story more understandable?
Lots of people are saying color.
Color, right? Especially because they say that he's green. And so maybe having it green might get that point across better. More dialogue, right? So a lot of you are saying color and we have some more and more dialogue. So think about those things when you are creating your own comic strip. Think about what questions your audience is going to have. If I look at your comic strip and the continuity is off, I may not know what's going on. Or if I look at your comic strip and the security guard is looking scared more so than the one who's supposed to be scared, it might throw someone off. So think about how you're going to portray your story so your audience understands. Someone said maybe having a narrator. So if someone was saying, rather than the security guard saying I, or talking about themselves in first person, or instead of the scared man saying, I just saw, there could be a narrator who's commenting with a little caption or something instead of a speech bubble.
Thought bubbles with some of the thoughts.
Thought bubbles would be great too, because then you know what people are thinking. And when you know what people are thinking, you kind of more so understand how they're reacting, right? So if I just all of a sudden started looking really scared, you'd be like, what the heck? But if there was a little thought bubble that said, there's a spider, I don't know what to do, I think I want to let him outside, then you would kind of understand where I'm coming from. So those are all things to look at. All right, here comes the fun part. So this is going to be, again, if you want it to be more than 4 panels for your comic strip, that's perfectly fine. If you'd like to collaborate, that is fine as well. I'm going to hop back onto the Hulk comic strip. If you notice on the bottom right-hand side of that comic strip, it has Stan Lee and another guy's name. My screen's currently covering it. And it has a date. So it has a date stamp and 2 people's names. And so that means that it was a collaboration of some sort, whether Stan Lee or the other guy decided, all right, I'm going to do the wording and that part of the storytelling, you're going to do some of the drawing, or if they worked on it a little bit together. That is how you collaborate. So someone's asking how you work with someone else. In the chat function, you can do that. If there's someone who is in your troop who's also watching this, or someone in your troop who's also a cadet and is not, give them a call, send them an email, message them, and you're more than welcome to work with them on that. Again, this will be posted to Facebook. So if you choose to work with someone, you will be able to go to the Facebook to look at this video so that you'll be able to work together with a buddy. So you can choose, if you would like, you can do your comic strip in 4 squares either like is shown on the slide where all 4 squares are lined up together, or you can choose to do it this way. Let's say you have a longer scene, and so if you wanted to do like a really widespread, like if you're in a field or something, this sort of format might be better for you because you can elongate your scenes. You can also do what I did. I will show you my copy. It's actually on the slideshow, but this is the one I did, and I chose to do it this way because I really wanted to zoom in on faces and things like that. So however you want your panels to look, if it takes more than 1 paper, again, that's okay. So however you would like to do your panels is up to you, but you have to do at least 4.
And that's to complete the requirement.
Correct, and that's to complete the requirement for that step. So this is an example of a comic strip that I put together. This is based on a real life experience. So that's where I got I'm kind of missing camp. So I decided to do a camp story about archery. It's one of my favorite activities up there. So in the first little panel, I'm saying, you know, I can do this. And I have a little outfit on. It's me. It's got an arrow and all those things. And panel 4. I left 2 and 3 blank because what you're going to try to do is from panel 1 to 4, or your start to finish, is your middle part is going to explain how you got from part 1 to the last part. So if you see in the first scene, I just have my bow and arrow and I'm ready to go. And in the 4th panel, my arrow is in the tree stump. So in boxes 2 and 3, which is the middle of my comic strip, I would kind of tell you how I got there. So in my 2nd panel, I might do something where I'm drawing me putting the arrow onto the bow, getting ready to fire. And when I have about 5 more minutes, guys, and fire when ready would be when I'm actually, maybe the arrow's flying through the air towards the target. And we talked about continuity, so you can see that both girls in the first picture and last picture have a little flower patch on the pants, as well as the I Love Camp t-shirt and the same kind of hair. So you're going to want to create your panels with all the things we talked about, looking at faces, making sure emotions are there, all of that. So in the 4th panel, what emotion am I showing there? In that 4th panel. Again, you can raise your hand. Juliana, go ahead. What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I think it's laughter or
Laughing, right? And so you can tell I'm laughing because it says ha ha ha, you know, my mouth's open. I have my hands on my stomach like I'm laughing. Really funny, feeling of laughter, joy, all of those things. So with all of that, you guys are going to create your comic strips. Once you have, whether you collaborate with someone or you've completed your own, you can take a picture of it on your cell phone or on a video, like a camera, and you can post it in the comments. In the next half hour, I'm going to upload this PowerPoint and the whole meeting up to Facebook, and you'll be able to post in the comments there with your completed comic strips. You are also more than welcome to post it on Instagram, your own Facebook, any of that. Just make sure you tag GSSGC Virtual so we know where to see it and all of that. You can also post more questions in the comment section of the video once it's uploaded to Facebook. And once you have completed your comic strip and you are happy with it, it's all colored, or you want to do black and white, that's fine too. But once you're done, you've completed all 5 steps of this badge.
By watching this video, by watching this video and doing the things you told them to.
Yes, by watching this video and doing all that I have shared with you. And this badge is available for purchase at the online Girl Scout store. So once you earn it, you can definitely get it from there and put it on your vests. We thank you so much for participating in these programs, and we invite you to join us to continue the sisterhood of Girl Scouting in innovative ways, such as virtual Girl Scouting. And always remember that Girl Scouts of San Gorgonio are here to support you however we can. Thank you. We hope you have a great night, and we look forward to seeing your comic strips. Have a great night, everyone.
Nicely done, Stitch.